Okay, everybody, welcome to the Village of Skokie Appearance Commission meeting for Wednesday, August 8th, 2018. When you checked in to get your building permits, you understood what hopefully we're doing here tonight. We're going to be reviewing elevations of your properties, residential or commercial, whichever they may be, and potentially deeming them a certificate of appropriateness. We get comments from the village's community development department, of which the commissioner to my left will be reading into the record. We take those into consideration when we're rendering our votes and opinions. Further, on the residential cases, mostly, neighbors were given notice of this meeting. So in many cases, those neighbors sometimes like to comment. We welcome those comments, and if a case is called where you're here, a concerned neighbor, we'll definitely have you come speak, but just let us know that you're coming up here. When I call your case, come stand right in front of us, and we'll talk about it. Anybody who is going to speak tonight to us, whether you're a neighbor or whether you're a petitioner, please rise so you can be sworn in. Start.
If you're going to speak at all, you need to be sworn in. Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much.
Okay, before we start, we'd like to make a motion. Will anybody make a motion to approve the minutes from the prior month's meeting of July 11th?
I move that the the minutes of the meeting of July 11th be approved as presented.
Is anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so passed. All right, let's get rolling. Case 2018-45A, Plutarco Roman, 8234 Hamlin Street.
The staff
Are they here? Okay, come on.
The staff has a few concerns with the overall design and requests that consideration be given to adding a pair of double-hung windows above the entrance to provide more symmetry on the front elevation. Corner boards, a trim detail between the brick and the siding, and deeper overhangs. The petitioner is to confirm whether or not the hip roof above the bay window will be retained or be rebuilt with the squared-off design. Technical items to be addressed include updating the zoning information worksheet and providing side and rear elevation drawings. Dimensions including overall proposed building height. A 28-foot maximum is allowed for the property in the R2 single-family district. Roof pitch and the existing second floor square footage to determine the necessity for a sprinkler system. Emergency egress compliance will be verified during the permit review process. A waiver of the 50% masonry requirement may also be necessary once the other three elevations are provided.
How you doing? So
we did make a phone call to ask for the other three elevations. Is it any of you the architect?
No, architect was. We waited on him. I thought.
Would you like to?
you want to wait? Is he supposed to come here?
He told me he gonna try to, not for sure.
You want to find out, and we can call the case again? What would you like to
call
do?
him? He can.
It's up to you, whatever you wish. We could.
We wanna maybe continue.
Well, here's the problem. We only see the front of your house, so we don't know what
The other three sides.
the other three sides are not in these drawings.
Here we called him, but he decided.
So there's not much we can do if all we see is 25% of what you're doing. And the questions they have right now, see how this roof is a hip roof on this thing here? But they're showing it differently here. So is that in your intention to rebuild this to look like this?
Yes.
So this will all be a new structure? It's not going to be like this?
No.
As drawn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever wants to be the speaker, I don't care.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like in the middle.
That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, well, the half of it would be, you know.
I guess what I'm asking is it going to look what's existing, which has got a hip? They call this a hip roof, or is it going to be just a straight?
Straight, yeah. It's gonna
So
be straight.
so you're tearing that off and doing a new.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So that's one question, and then the other question is, this doesn't look right with one window here. We would suggest that be
Right.
okay. So So it sounds like you're in agreement on that stuff so far. The only problem is, we don't know what that looks like, we don't know what that looks like, we don't know what the back looks like. So,
Can I ask a couple questions?
sure, absolutely.
Well, we were thinking about doing the addition. Is there anything that we can't do as far as?
There's lots you can't do.
For example, like we have a porch. I think it's over here. So, it's already existing.
Mm-hmm.
If we make the addition, could we come up with it?
It all depends if it has a foundation. So
Okay.
that's something your architect will have to look.
Right. Okay.
So it's not for them, it's more
Right.
of a construction
Right.
issue.
The other thing that I was gonna ask is, I'm not sure if I should, I can ask this, or if you guys don't even know the answer,
Go ahead.
but like the property taxes,
No idea,
It's not here,
no idea.
at Cook County, not us.
Right.
right?
And the answer is yes.
It will go up.
Or even if they're frozen?
I don't know. I can't answer that. You'd have to talk to a tax attorney or somebody.
Because you're adding square footage, so
Right.
it has to do with.
Look, here's an idea. You tell me what you want to do. You can check with, I think if you did what we said here, we like the front, but we need to see the other sides.
Right.
So do you maybe want to go back and revisit with the architect and get us drawings of the other side, and then talk to him about this, and come back in a month?
Okay,
You know, I'm not sure what kind of a hurry you're in,
right.
but as this looks right now, unless you're prepared to draw us what the three other sides look like, we can't do anything, and we probably wouldn't accept your drawing anyway.
Okay.
Make sense?
What's the, next month would be the?
It would be,
Second
yes,
Wednesday of the month. It's
right,
always
it would
the
be
second
September 12th.
September 12th,
And then that would give you time to investigate this stuff, and
for
then,
the foundation, right?
right, and just figure out what you really want to do.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you this to bring to your architect, okay? I need to know what that looks like, what that looks like, and what the back looks like. We want this to be a double window, and we want to, you know, confirm what we're doing here. Are we doing the rebuilding this, or are we doing that hip roof that's existing?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, I did.
Because you're leaving this existing.
He did email me some, some sketches,
Uh-huh.
and I told him, what about like adding some side windows and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
so,
'Cause
go,
I didn't see that on the,
right, so go through it with them,
another thing,
the front entry.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
is that possible to do like a front entry inside,
It all depends on the setback.
or even if we went up on the porch, could we do like stairs coming down inside to the back?
I'm not,
Are you doing a two-flat, or are you doing another living setup?
Well, we're just doing
No, because
addition.
it only allowed to be a single family.
No,
just so you
yeah,
know.
that's,
And as far as coming forward, it's based on the setback of the
Right.
property, so we can go over there with you, or the architect should
yeah,
know
I'm
the
just trying to get
setback.
like an idea.
Right.
You can talk
What
to
we
us,
can
we'll
or
talk to
can't
him.
do,
Yeah.
or, you know.
exactly.
Like, for example, on the side of the house, there's, like, right here by the kitchen,
Uh-huh.
there's some stairs that go straight up. And I
Mhm.
was thinking, instead of doing the front entry, why not just do like a side door going up, straight up?
If you have the room, it could be
Yeah.
designed that way, but he has to design it.
It's gotta be
for
on
you.
the plan.
Yes.
Is there a side entry on this side of the house?
No, there's no
Well, what
side
he wants to
entry,
do
but,
is-
I know, but the only entry to the house is this and the rear,
yeah,
because most of the Georgians have a front and a
I
side,
think
so.
what he wants to do is
Yeah.
kinda line it up
Yeah,
with that stair.
yeah,
right.
straight.
I would, but
It makes more sense
Right.
that way.
this is your front door here, right?
Yeah,
But
that's the
actually, it's on the other.
It's on the other side of this drawing,
This
then.
way.
You took it around.
Um,
There it is.
yeah, and that's how all the Georgians are.
But the question is if he has room on the side.
Right,
to
right,
come
you,
out.
yeah, you want to do a door here or something,
Yeah,
to go right into
It all
that.
depends on how close you are to your neighbors, to the
Yeah.
property line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about maybe
Well,
But don't,
But you have to have a setback. You
Oh,
can't
okay.
be on the property line.
right.
but you want to have a door here,
I mean, if that's possible.
yeah.
If
Your
instead of
architect,
going-
your architect should
He
know
should
the
be able to
answers
go through all
those
that.
questions.
Okay.
All right, so let's do that. You guys tune this up and then come back in a month.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. Here, again, take that. We keep this. And good luck.
Thank you.
Sure. Case number 2018-46A, Ben and Kendall Gorski, 4421 Concord Lane.
Staff has no concerns with the overall design. However, since this rear addition faces a public street, consideration should be given to replacing the existing family room picture window with a pair of double-hung windows to complement the windows elsewhere on the house, especially if light and ventilation requirements need to be met. A technical item to be addressed includes a waiver of the 50% masonry requirement.
Hello.
Hi.
So I actually had someone at our house this weekend to give us a quote on getting double hung windows for that.
Oh, good.
So I already,
So it sounds like you're
I'm all for
you're on
it.
board for that.
Yeah, all for it. And then, Lois and I for the masonry.
Well, we can grant that. We don't-
Oh, okay. Well, we've been looking at doing stone, but it's significantly more expensive. We are planning on redoing all the siding on our house, because they knew that they wouldn't be able to match the existing. We have some hail damage, so we were gonna have it redone anyways. So I brought a sample of, I don't know if that's something you guys needed, or.
We'll take a look.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a light gray color. And then just like a traditional siding.
So. Where are we? So, is this
So
the,
it's kind of confusing. We live on a private walking path, so this is technically our backyard, but it's street facing. And then our front yard is a private green
Gotcha.
space. It's a little weird.
If you're familiar, Concord Lane has a
Yeah.
center archway.
Yeah,
so you're filling in this gap,
yes, exactly.
and you're doing it to match the existing materials?
Yes, it'll match the, it will be new siding, but it will match the
Right.
new siding, yes.
And is it coming out as far as this existing?
No, it'll only be coming out as far as the garage.
Okay.
So,
got it.
that side door into the existing addition will still be accessible.
Right, yeah, and I think you'd want these to match these.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
plan. We need new windows there anyways.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's an interesting
You're
setup.
gonna get your new kitchen, aren't you?
That's the dream.
And I think what they're saying is that
Anybody have any issue? You guys are all good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel, do you wanna make a motion and grant the waiver?
Okay. I make a motion that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2018-46A at 4421 Concord Lane, with the addition of double hung windows to replace the existing family room picture window. And we'll also grant the waiver of the 50% masonry requirement.
Anybody second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed, good luck.
Thank you.
Sure. Case 2018-47A, Anthony Yosef at 9342 Keystone.
The staff has, hi, the staff has no concerns with the overall design. The proposed overall height is less than the maximum 30-foot allowed for the property in the R1 single-family district. Technical items to be addressed include applying for a PIN consolidation and verifying the front yard setbacks of neighboring homes to determine the setback requirement for this home.
Got something to show us? Did you bring a present or?
No, I was told I might be asked for the color of the bricks, so
Oh, okay.
I brought some
All right,
pictures
let's
and
look at
bring
it.
it.
While he's gathering up the drawing.
That's
Similar to that.
just fair.
We'll help her with those other issues.
Yeah,
The setback law,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what was the other question?
pin numbers.
Oh, yeah,
The
that's,
consolidated
that's
zone.
something they'll do with,
Yeah.
Brian Gilman.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the one that is the neighbor.
Thank you. Do we have a set of photos?
photos.
He doesn't have a drawing.
This house currently is one story.
The address is on the back.
I
Got it.
drove by it, it's not far from my house.
So they're gonna demolish something?
Oh, no, I think they're building up.
I'm sorry, Jim.
That's okay.
So is this two doors down, the two-story? The two-story, the couple
That's the
door-
neighbor.
Right, but you, they have.
Yeah,
is
next
this-
to them is a
that- is that the-
two-story.
Is that your site?
That's our house right
Okay.
now. That's a neighbor, and then the other neighbor's house.
Also, okay.
Yeah, the other
So you're
two-story.
building up.
No, it's new construction.
Oh, it's totally new.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
And it conforms on height. You're saying it's actually 4 feet less than height, or 3 feet? Okay.
It's like 3 feet. Did you say you had samples of brick?
Oh,
samples?
on a picture.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah.
It's the thing.
What's the roof color gonna look like?
If the images are not-
Is it this, is it basically this?
Yeah, my husband built that house, so he knows where to get the
This
bricks,
is the
get the
building.
exact same thing.
But
That's just-
it's gonna be the brown metal. We're gonna do almost the whole color.
Principally here,
The whole
yeah.
color palette is gonna be this, basically, right?
I can't answer it, I'll give you
It would be good
You're
to
in
say.
charge.
You're
now.
gonna have,
I
you're
know,
gonna have
he
to
was
say.
supposed to be here, but I think so, as
You know
far as
what?
I know.
If he just say yes, if he changes it, we'll
Yeah,
come
because
back.
I don't wanna see this with white windows, okay? So that's why I have to ask that question.
Oh, okay.
Or
So if he-
with
if he-
purple
The
windows.
point is, if he doesn't use these colors, he's coming back, that's all.
We're
Okay.
gonna approve it
Okay.
with this color palette, but if he makes a drastic change, we have to see it.
Okay,
I mean, this is a great palette, it looks fine,
okay.
of colors, so. Anybody have any issues?
No, it looks great.
Looks good.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought, you want to come, here, please come up. I made an announcement earlier, if you guys wanted to see something. Were you here when I made, were you here when I?
I was here, but I thought we'd come up when it's the person,
Oh, well,
and not
no worries.
the neighbor.
Hi.
I live behind you.
Okay,
So I've come out because they live next to you.
okay,
And he lives behind.
okay.
So, yeah, it's a block party.
Good.
Hi.
Hi, hello.
I just wanted to see the pictures. Vicki has
Sure.
questions. She's right next door.
Okay.
I'm right behind. Then there's
Sure.
always the water problem. When
Sure.
you build new.
Right, so the water issue, what I can tell you from this and what Nathan will also say behind me is that all the engineering of the water is done by the engineering department. So that all the water that's runoff from here will end up going out front, not toward the rear.
So I want a swimming pool in my backyard.
If you don't have one now, in theory, you won't have one then, okay? Because it'll be engineered that any roof runoff will be ushered out to the
All the
front.
new homes, we don't let them do the downspout to the backyards anymore, they all have to come forward. So if the yard's flooded before, it'll still flood, but any roof water is going to the street.
But the grading,
The
so in other
grading,
words,
they
if
have
there's
to,
theoretically like a foot taller than ours, right, it would also.
so the
Right.
grading, they always have to match the top of foundation with the two neighboring homes. That's the way.
Sorry to say, in 2004, when the house on the other side, whatever you're saying never happened. And then we didn't even get a notification on one
I don't know
fine
if in
morning.
'04 if that was
the
the rule.
Wrecking ball
Nathan, do
came
you
and
know if
our
that was
house
the rule?
was shuddering like hell,
Yeah.
and we got cracks in our sides and everything, and I was telling my husband, we need to go to the village and talk to them, because we were not given any notification, but this time you have. And then secondly, we got cracks on the sides, and we had water seepage, and we had to redo our concrete.
Mhm.
And the front pavement, when those equipment and all came, they broke the front pavement also.
Mhm.
So that's still broken, and this house was made, God bless them and everything else.
You're talking about the front sidewalk?
And everything, yeah. And it is higher, we did get water in our basement and everything.
Mhm.
And we had to redo our concrete and spend a few $1,000 for that, but we had to go through that. And the noise, of course, besides
Right.
that, we did get water collection in front. I mean, there was a lot that even we couldn't walk by it and go to work or whatever we had to do. The kids go to school, the school bus comes right at the corner of Keystone and Emerson, the kids couldn't even walk and go from there.
So
So we didn't want to go
yeah,
through the same thing
right,
again.
right. And I guess all I can tell you, and again, I'm not in the engineering department, but Nathan's with the building department, and they do go through a process now. I don't know if in '04 that the water was engineered to go out front. Do you know, Nathan, if it was over 15 years ago?
Little after that, I mean,
I
but-
don't know.
The
I don't
grade,
think-
the grade for the new construction is definitely higher than the
Of the
previous
other one, yeah,
standard.
so-
Yes, you can come and check
Right.
the house next to
Right.
mine.
Oh, but
Okay, his
Can we,
building concrete is higher than mine.
can we make that issue a separate issue, and you can go in?
No, because what happens
Sir,
is.
sir, that house that you're talking about that was built in 2004, I can't control that today. I can,
You can
con-
control
I can, con-
something
I
today.
can control, I can control what they are proposing to do today.
Okay.
Okay? So, what I'm telling you, and what he's telling you, who is the head of the building department, yes, is that the top of the elevation of that new foundation is gonna be the same height as the two neighborings. Correct? Did I say that
Average-
properly?
The average are the two homes on
Right.
either side.
So they have to shoot that elevation, and that's what it will be.
Is that the same with the soil? Or they can, I'm just,
Well, I understand, you're worried about, so what about that? What about the grading and where that all runs, right?
And you know, like if people later on do regrade their properties without telling us, we don't know about it, so we have to inform us. But a lot of people will come in and do landscaping after the fact that we're
That
not
affects it.
aware of.
but is the grading part of the initial?
Yeah,
initial
that's to
grading is?
be, that's to be level as we just
Okay, got
discussed.
it.
with
And that's part of the
area.
permit process and the engineering review.
Correct,
Okay, so not just the foundation, but the grading of the soil as well?
that is correct.
Okay,
And it can't be engineered to be running to you guys.
got it.
And is it safe to say that the contractor is responsible for drainage during the construction process?
Yeah, they put the pumps in and they, you know, that's something that a lot of times you can't avoid because you have piles of dirt and stones, so there's times it might be difficult, but it's something that we would have to, if you have an issue, if you can't talk to them, you come to us.
Can I ask you about, just for my own edification, so let's say, do they have to put in a new sidewalk in front of their house? On a new
If there's
construction?
no sidewalks on either side, they don't.
But-
If that street doesn't have sidewalks, if it has, if the sidewalk has no cracks in it, they can keep it. So engineering would look at the sidewalk, and if they issue permits for it. if
Is it
there's
your
any-
intent to put in a brand new sidewalk in front of the house? Again,
I
okay.
don't think he
Okay.
was going to do
So
that.
take photographs.
It's all based if it's broken or
Right.
not, so if it's broken, they will replace it. They would have to replace it.
But I know what you mean. There's a house being built right between his house and my house, a block away. And right, all the heavy equipment tears up that sidewalk. I'm assuming they're gonna replace it because it's terrible. But I don't know, again, in 2004, I can't.
It wasn't 2004, it was later, I mean, we moved
Okay.
in 2003, so it's
Okay.
around the timeline.
Okay.
But, our question was like how many, when is it gonna be started, and what are the timings of
Yeah, you
working in the morning to
you can-
evening
you-
and
The
things
work
like that?
times are 7 to 6, and if they work before or after, if we're not at the office, you call the police department. They come out. If they write a condition report, we give citations. We give tickets to the contractors.
Okay, so, I mean, of course, we do night shift and all that stuff, so that isn't,
Well,
that's
I'm
not
just
gonna
saying,
do.
if there's any
You know, they
other
have to do
neighbors
the-
and they work
they have
at
to do the
off hours, you
construction,
just have to
yeah.
let us know.
So if there is any damage to our property due to the wrecking ball coming in and banging those concrete
I would,
foundation.
we are not gonna do anything about it. I would keep records of it, and between that and the insurance company, you would have to deal with them.
Because when it happened
Because I
with the.
spent some money after the construction next to my house, I just had to change the sidewalk
I
because
would
it
take records of it right now.
Yeah.
tilted down, there were cracks in my
I
basement.
would make
Fill it up
records
and
of it now,
everything.
so you'd have something to
Yeah.
show an insurance company.
Take pictures now.
Sure.
Take
That's
pictures
what they're
before and
there
after.
And,
Because the developer, he kind of, when I told my husband we should go to the village, and my husband like, no, it's okay, what to do, you know,
But-
because the developers,
Right.
they are, you know.
But we're here for an aesthetic review.
Mhm.
You know, aesthetically, this is actually less height than what they're allowed and stuff. I think it's gonna be beautiful and it's gonna conform. And I think that the homeowner is hearing your concerns.
Yeah.
No, you're not
Yeah.
here
Right,
to
right,
talk.
right, yeah,
You're not here to
yeah,
discuss
no, I know,
this stuff.
right,
I
right,
just wanna
right. No, but I
ask
think
one
it's
question.
important, I think it's I think it's important that she hear that, you know what I mean, so.
Yeah, so I mean, you
Right.
should
Also, looking at the
speak it.
picture,
No,
I
you know,
just
out of good
observed
faith.
there's a nice big tree right close to the garage door at the moment there, on the sidewalk.
Where?
Whatever
Right where the
trees
garage
comes
door
out, they
is.
have to replace.
Right, they have to replace, and it's actually of significant financial value to remove that tree.
It's a big oak,
Yeah.
huge oak tree. Right where the garage, towards the garage, end of the garage.
There is a tree being removed on the plan.
Yeah, they show a tree,
Yeah,
Where's
because
that
it's
top?
gonna be close to the driveway.
yeah.
It's right on top of the drive.
No.
Maybe like when are you planning to do it? That-
Well, we have to wait for the permit and then we'll
We
do
should
that
be,
on all of
at least you
them.
should let us know and to be aware about things are happening.
Yeah,
Because
I
we
will
would
tell
just
my
be
husband
woken up with a wrecking ball early in the morning with our foundation shuttering.
Oh,
It
no,
happened
no.
last time when the other house was being made.
Okay, no, I will tell him all that. Yeah, we own the property, but he's also a contractor, my husband, so.
At least you know the contractor's the homeowner, and
Yeah,
that,
because
that
the
helps.
last one threatened us and he says, oh, you all are just out there to get money and things are like that. And we are conscientious
Mhm.
citizens and we work ethically. So
Mhm.
I don't think so we were out to get money, but it was to be a fair
No, no.
that you should, be responsible. You bring the wrecking ball early in the morning, the house is shuttering. Don't tell me there's no
Right.
difference to the foundation. Don't tell me that.
Right.
Even though
But
anybody
all
will
I
do
can
that.
tell you is you gotta document.
I-
So
I-
if you have a concern
I
right
still
now,
have a busted glass block window in my bathroom.
yeah.
When they used the wrecking ball and a piece of concrete hit
Yeah,
my
it
window.
cracked.
It's still
It
cracked, it's still
stopped
there,
and
I
moved the
cannot
house
replace,
and
I have
everything.
to get the whole glass
So
block.
Right,
if
but-
it's
but-
gonna happen
but-
again,
but-
it's
but-
a very
right.
bad-
But,
Go ahead. Did you say something?
two things. The
Yes.
first thing is, and I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but there are wires behind our houses
Power,
that-
power. and-
power.
Uh-huh.
that a tree from that yard fell on, and 500 customers, you probably remember that, wasn't that long ago? And 500 customers in our area
Mhm.
were out of power. And of course, I wound up, because it was an older lady who lived there then, and I paid to have the tree removed.
we knew
And
about
so, yeah, you need to know about
Mhm.
all that. I'm sure you have all that.
What do you mean I have all that?
You know all about, you're aware, the people that are building are gonna be aware of
Right, right.
the wires and the trees
Right.
and the this and the that.
Extra wires just hanging there.
Right.
I
And
called
they're
AT&T.
hanging and
Yeah,
they're-
well,
Everybody
I mean,
else
it's,
Yeah.
I
You got it.
know,
Okay. What's your name?
so- I'm Mike Link.
Oh, I'm like,
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in a house with an easement and power lines, and ComEd
Okay,
or
just-
Aspen, they're there every year to do trimming, so that's really a ComEd issue, to be honest with you. You
yeah,
should be
I
calling
know, I
ComEd,
know, yeah, yeah.
if you're not satisfied with that, and the village can assist you with that, but.
Here's the last one.
Sure,
I don't even know how to phrase it, so I sound like I
Okay.
have a brain, which I do.
okay.
I know a vermin spotted in that backyard.
Okay,
I had to call health patrol, animal control. And, when you tear anything up, there's gonna be mice and da-da-da and da-da-da and da-da-da. Should I be concerned about that? I know there are rats over there.
I can't
Yeah.
answer that.
Okay, I will
I was
answer.
not aware.
Before
Well,
any
yeah.
demolition is done, we notify police, fire, and health, and they might, if they feel there's items over there, you should let them know, and they could bait the property.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just
I
wanted you to
didn't
be
know.
aware, yeah, 'cause
Nobody told
I
us.
don't want them coming, to my house for,
Right,
dinner.
for lunch.
Yeah.
Your house and mine.
Yeah. Thank you, better Vicky's than mine.
Right.
So, I mean, it is a concern, it
Right.
is, Skokies, we have a lot of stuff going on. So I just,
That's why we live here.
that- well, okay, so that's my concern, Vicky and,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nazira
With
right
the
next
noise
door.
pollution and
Right.
debris and.
Well, you'll have all the
water
dogs.
Yeah, I mean,
cracking
they,
in the
That's-
foundation.
they haven't invented a way for construction to be
Yeah.
quiet, or, they've done better in that
And then
over the years, but, it's gonna,
I just
it's,
wanna say, my husband is a contractor, he has built other houses
Yeah,
in
theirs.
Skokie.
right.
You're,
No,
oh, I thought
Yes.
this.
no, of course he's different,
A different Gorski?
not related to this,
Okay.
Oh, if that was a different person,
Okay.
never mind, sorry.
I just wanna see,
I
yeah,
would.
he's very aware
Right.
of that, and so far we never had
Right.
any problems with the neighbors, just So
Yeah,
if
you
you
don't know
have
us.
concerns, you could,
Yeah, welcome to the neighborhood.
Right? Welcome to Skokie, we welcome everyone.
No, but I think it's good you guys brought up the concerns, and then, you know, compliance and enforcement, that's what the police and the building department are for. So if you have any
Yeah.
issues, again, I would suggest take all the pictures you want in
Okay,
advance.
we're packed in the house,
Right.
we have to take pictures.
Right, but take a picture of it.
We're very concerned here.
Yeah, I
The
get it.
Neighborhood watch,
I
you
get
don't
it.
want me coming,
I get
neighbors,
it.
you don't want
I
me.
get it.
Yeah, I know, but thank you for listening.
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
No, and thank you
The
for,
other house
but
was
thank you
really-
for coming, this was part of the
and
process.
he was really cocky, the contractor,
Well.
so,
Yeah.
you know, that's why
Yeah.
we
So
were
with
little
that.
Right.
think about it.
Well, I can't, I don't know who it was or
He
can't
was very
speak.
friendly with the village, he told us,
Yeah,
Oh,
he knew everybody in the village.
Okay.
okay then, see? Who you know and.
He literally told me on my face, he said, do whatever you have to do.
yeah.
I've got friends in the
He
village.
said, our connections.
So
Well,
that's why
that's
we
the way
weren't
it
sure
works.
whether we
So?
could, you know.
That was probably pre-iPhone, now you can videotape them saying that, so.
No, it was good.
Jumping all over.
Right.
Okay, all right.
I thank you very much, I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it,
Thanks,
thank you.
Nels.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's enjoyable.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you
If
for
you want a wrap, my face will be right here.
Tom, do you wanna make a motion based on the photo of the
Yeah,
finishes?
I got it. I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2018-047A at 9342 Keystone, as presented with the color palette to be similar, if not exactly the same as the photograph
Keep that.
provided during the meeting.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. Okay, great, take care.
Good luck.
Sure. Case number 2018-49A, Jeff Werstack and Lauren Fink, 8314 Lowell, second floor addition.
Staff has no concerns with the overall design. However, consideration should be given to retaining the brick detail in the brick gable ends. Technical items that need to be addressed include applying for a PIN consolidation, plus the zoning board of appeals granting relief from zoning ordinance setback and parking requirements to allow a reduced side yard setback and only one parking space respectively. Excuse me. Since there is an alley to the rear of the property, additional parking could be provided off the alley, reducing the necessity for relief from the parking requirements. In addition, emergency egress compliance will be verified during the permit review process.
How are you?
Great, how's everybody?
Good. And you are?
Jeff Werstack.
Thank you.
This is your home, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of those items about having to go to the zoning board of appeals and so forth?
Yes. I have a
Okay.
question on the parking though, I was just curious about that. With the garage and, can you explain it to me?
Nate?
When bedrooms are added to a property, let's say you have 3, you go to 4, and the maximum required garage spaces in a house is 2. So if you have 1, you gotta add 1 more. And it doesn't have to be a garage, it could be a parking pad, but it has to be in a legal location.
Okay, and does the driveway not count as
No,
that, or?
the front yard parking is not considered a parking space, and tandem parking is not considered a parking space.
So,
Gotcha.
okay, so that's just, we're not gonna address that, that's something you have to take, that's your next step.
I think the pictures are in the back, aren't they?
You got photos? You know. I got it, we got it here, that's, what's that?
I'm just talking to myself. Board and batten siding, is it hardy or cement plank or?
Yeah, it'd be a hardy board or similar.
Bring any samples with you?
I did. I'm gonna bring a sample as well. We'll do that real quick.
I mean, you're really just adding this little raised portion here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's fine. Anybody have, Mary Jane, you like it?
Yes, I do.
Why don't you make a motion?
I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted to case number 2018-049A at 8314 Lowell, as presented.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed. So you have to make a couple more stops with zoning and stuff like that. They'll figure that out. All right, good luck, thanks.
Thanks very much.
Sure. Case number 2018-48A, Heather Hernandez, 9323 Skokie Boulevard, commercial signage for Sprint.
The existing overall sign package for the site, including the future Wendy's to the south, includes a tenant board ground sign on Skokie Boulevard and a tenant board ground sign on Grosse Point Road, along with wall signs for each of the businesses. The Sprint signs on north and south sides of the tower feature are being requested in addition to and/or in lieu of the west fascia wall sign.
Bless you.
If the west fascia sign is the selected design, it is recommended that the tower be painted a slightly darker shade of the main building to be an accent feature. If the tower feature sign is the selected design, the proposal must continue on to the Zoning Board of Appeals to allow relief from Section 82-27C2 to establish signable areas on the north and south sides of the tower, as the north side of the tenant space does not have windows or a business entrance, and the south side of the tenant space has an existing wall sign.
You understand all that?
Do you want a little summary?
Yes,
Yes, please.
Okay, so this building is part of an overall development where Wendy's will be constructed to the south. Currently, there is the South Sprint sign. You can see on the picture up
When
there.
you say
the one,
currently, like it exists, or currently in design?
that one was installed, the one above the entrance to the tenant space. The one on the far right of that picture. There will be 2 ground signs, one exists along Skokie Boulevard, the other one will be along Grosse Point Road. So the tenant would like to consider putting signage on the tower feature, which when this building came through about a year and a half ago, I think.
So this used to be the old tire.
Right, this was gonna be a mattress store at one point.
Wow.
Or one of the tenants, yeah, was gonna be a mattress store. But the tower feature was taller and it had all 3 tenants, anticipated tenants for the entire building on there, and that was not approved back in the day. This one is proposing just the Sprint since that's the tenant space that's facing Skokie Boulevard. So it's just requesting Sprint, it's not gonna serve the other 2 tenants. So that's why this is being brought back for your consideration. I believe Sprint would like to either have the tower sign and/or the wall sign facing Skokie Boulevard. Does that summarize it? And there is a ground sign that has Sprint on it as well, just about where the 2 old uprights from the old sign that can be seen in that photo.
So, what's currently installed? The one on the far right of that
The
picture?
one on the far right,
The one in the middle is not, with the
Correct.
arrow pointing at it, nor is the one on the tower.
correct.
Okay.
And it'll be on both sides of the,
And-
or it's proposed to be on both sides of the
and
tower.
it's-
So
And
this
is
one is
That-
existing, right?
that ground
Yes.
sign
Oh, yeah.
This one is
Yeah.
existing.
is where the 2 poles are.
This one,
that came
these
out.
2.
Right.
Used to be an old sign.
And then there's one
So
on the
it-
back side too.
So,
It's 2
as I look at that picture, Carrie, what isn't conforming?
If just the Sprint sign, need a little,
Kind of having 2 of them facing the same direction.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I see Sprint, this picture's not good for your case, because I see 1,000 Sprints, and then you're saying, just outside of there is this, and it's like,
So, since, this is a lot that's less than 1 acre in area, and Sprint is facing Skokie Boulevard, they can have a sign on their south elevation and 1 sign on their west elevation.
okay,
So this is requesting, signage instead of here, placing it on this tower, or in addition to. And there will be a sign on the south side of this tower and on the north side of this tower. So that's the north side.
and
So
does it,
instead of 1, we are asking for 4 signs total.
well, all right, so that's the 3, well, yeah, the other one we don't see is the 4, you're right, Jay, on the back side of that. And then, where does this, I know where this is located, but is this compliant or non-compliant?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, for tenant identification.
Yeah, I would,
Lose the west
I would lose the
elevation.
one with the arrow pointing at it.
Agreed.
And they're willing, yeah.
Lose that one and give them the tower.
What about the color of the tower? I'm okay
That's
with
I-
it.
I- it
It's
doesn't-
existing,
Doesn't
but-
bother me.
Yeah, it
you know.
doesn't bother me either.
And if the signage was there, it would be
more
appropriate, if it was gonna be blank,
Yeah.
it was just a suggestion,
Okay.
The other issue with the
But the
sign.
sign on the other side of the tower will be there
They
still.
have to be 10% above and below what they're attached to, and
This
we're
one will
not sure.
stay.
That sprint looks a little low.
We're not sure if they superimpose them on there and they're looking bigger than what they are, but they cannot extend past the band that they're placed on. So I don't know if that picture is real or.
Just to scale properly.
Right, yeah, okay.
You understand what we're saying? You see the yellow sticking below? Show her, right there.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
yes.
So, and above?
Yeah.
No projections.
So it has to be 10% above and below of that, what it's applied to.
Okay.
And can you go back to the tower? Why do you have the, whatever the yellow thing is, above it? Because all that does is squishes down Sprint. Why wouldn't you just find a sign that fits, similar to the other one, where it says Sprint and has the little boomerang or whatever you wanna call that thing, to the right of it?
Next to it, sideways or something?
Yeah, I'm just giving you a suggestion, because having the, I don't see the yellow thing to me as a Sprint, it's not like the Pepsi logo to me.
We're saying you're gonna put Sprint so low, it's hard to see it.
Right.
I would do what that sign says on the upper left, or no, yeah,
Or
or
put
that
the
one.
swoosh under it.
Yeah, or,
Under it, right, yeah.
or under it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's just a suggestion. And then is this, there gonna be two other tenants?
We just want, yes,
I know.
we just want you
Okay.
to know that they do have other exposure on that street
Cool.
side. And they will even have one on the Grosse Pointe side too.
All right, Tom, why don't you?
Sure. I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2018-048A at 9323 Skokie Boulevard, with the provision that the requested Sprint sign on the west elevation be removed, and that consideration be given to relocating the swoosh on the tower, either in line with the Sprint lettering or below the Sprint lettering. And that all other requirements of the zoning board of appeals be followed.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. All right, good luck.
You're welcome.
Case number 2018-50A, Public Storage, 8220 Skokie Boulevard.
The staff has a few concerns with the overall design, as there are multiple signs and a change in building's color scheme. However, the simplification of the sign communication is appreciated. An existing special use permit number 296 states that signage must be provided on the building to indicate that parking for the office and storage units is inside the building and that access is at the customer entrance door. All signs were approved on the east elevation. Main wall sign, office entrance, overhead door entrance, and overhead door exit. The entrance and exit signs were 4 square feet in area. The 3-foot 4-inch lettering height of the public storage sign exceeds the maximum 36-inch allowed by the sign code. Relief from section 82-C-3 will be necessary. The rental office is a second wall sign on the east elevation. It is recommended that an awning or canopy be installed in lieu of the wall sign to provide a physical building feature announcing the main building entrance. This public storage wall sign is on the south elevation and is proposed to replace an existing wall sign. However, there are no windows or business entrances on this facade, and the sign was not approved as part of the 1998 special use permit ordinance, so this sign should be removed. Consideration should be given to changing the loading directional sign wording to entrance only, as there is a complementary exit only sign. Since the sign is scaled in proportion to the overhead door, relief from the sign code to allow a directional sign greater than 4 square feet is recommended. 5, the exit-only directional sign is scaled in proportion to the overhead door. Therefore, relief from the sign code to allow a directional sign greater than 4 square feet is recommended. Number 6, this parking-only directional sign should be reduced to no greater than 4 square feet in area. Number 7, same as number 6. Number 8, the public storage window signage cannot cover more than 25% of the individual window paint surface in the door and must be reduced in area. Number 9, the boxes, moving supplies, etc., window signs cannot cover more than 25% of the individual window paint surface and could be relocated to the larger window panes to meet the sign code requirement. All other signs and displays within 36 inches of the window glass surface counts as window sign coverage and must be removed to accommodate the proposed signs. The color scheme. The corporate colors may be incorporated into the building design with Appearance Commission approval. It is recommended that the east-facing rectangle and the entire office facade remain a neutral color. An orange awning or canopy be added above the customer entrance and storefront windows, and the orange overhead exit door be painted to match the exterior wall color to draw attention away from it as it is not an entrance door. Hi there.
Hello, I'm Ross MacArthur with Public Storage.
Did you get these comments before tonight?
I did not know.
Should we just, I mean, it's a lot of comments. Do you wanna?
No, I'm okay going from what he said. I know the branding.
Okay.
First of all, the channel letters are only 30 inches tall. They're not 30.
All right, well, let's do this one at a time. So sign 1. You're talking about this 3-foot, item 1, 3-foot lettering height of the public storage sign exceeds the maximum 36 allowed. What are you saying that is?
It's only 30 inches tall.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they got 3'4". Carrie, do you know that?
It's,
They
the
went from the
dimension
top
we
of the
draw.
P to the bottom
Yes,
of the G.
it's top.
They made it a
So it is 3'4".
line calculation.
Okay, so this is actually 30 inches?
Yes.
Here,
Like the P is 30 inches.
The 3'4" is right here, so yes.
Goes to the bottom of the
from
G.
here to the bottom of the G, yeah. So what you're
Yeah,
saying,
30
you
each.
took this individually, it's just 30, right?
That letter's only 30 inches tall.
And so would these be, right?
Correct.
Yeah, he is going from
I'd get
here to
relief
here.
on that.
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, we're basically at 30. You're getting hurt by the bottom of the G. Okay. All right. Anybody have any problem with item 1? Just letting it go as drawn.
No.
Go to the sign 2.
Rental office.
You want the plan? Huh?
So the
No, that's all right. We
And-
can see it right there.
east facing.
Oh, this little one over
Yeah.
there.
What street does this face?
Skokie Boulevard.
East. This says
Skokie
east
Boulevard.
building
That's
out.
that's the east elevation.
This
yes,
is,
east
this
side
is
of the building.
Skokie Boulevard. So the sign that you're just looking at is gonna be like right here, so 5 feet?
Wouldn't the east elevation be over here?
No, no, that's west. That's the tracks.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. All right. Go ahead. That's right. It's on the other side of the street. I apologize. I thought it was on the with all the
Is it right
car
there?
dealers.
Yeah.
Yes, the white.
Okay. So this rental office discussion, that's more part of the whole other issue we have with the color scheme of the building. Because I think in your color scheme conversation, you were talking about be better to have an awning over that thing and then make that whole orange
Yeah.
thing the neutral color.
Well, what it is right now. And then
No,
put the
but
awning-
that's
put the awning
shaded
up.
in the drawing. This is existing. Color
So
scheme
you're
wise.
asking to put an awning there?
I'm not sure yet.
We're suggesting, they're the one who vote.
Because that wall is recessed.
There's an overhang there.
That's correct.
It's a cantilever,
So
yeah, it projects
it'd
out.
be very difficult to put an awning up there.
It would be
It
very.
was just a suggested for
Yeah.
consideration
Okay.
based on the scale of the building
The
and,
thoughts were if they vote for neutral color like here, and you put an orange awning here, it might give you what you know, kind of emphasize here's my front door.
Certainly, whatever, we certainly want to work with you in any capacity.
Is that sign occur above a door?
Yeah,
The
Yes.
doors and the
That-
windows
yeah,
are
right.
the main entrance to
That's
the.
the existing,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, so
The
that's,
sign is right
It's
here,
hard to see
and
on
the door is right
why wouldn't you put that on the, can you put that signage on the door itself, painted onto the glass door?
actually, that's another
It gets
sign request.
involved with the 25% of the window area. Also with the speed of the traffic and parking availability, which is to the north, you want a customer to be able to see that sign to know that that's the office going in. If it's
Okay.
a new customer,
It's, let's move on from that sign. Item 3,
Show the walls on the south elevation.
where's sign 3 at?
It's on the south elevation.
I don't see it though.
I think what's
we're
labeled
on
east,
east here.
I think what's
I mean, are you
labeled
looking to put it
east is
here
really
where
south.
the existing one is, or up in the
That's east
green, orange?
elevation, we're removing that sign.
This is, it's
And then where is
labeled
this
wrong.
going?
This is really south.
Can you go to the next
They're
page?
talking this one.
Hmm?
So if you go back to the other one, there was the south elevation, and on the drawing it's labeled east.
East,
Oh.
okay.
That's the confusion, so that's really south, and you're saying this is coming out,
Yes,
and you're gonna do a orange band instead?
correct.
And what's this?
That will go on, I'm sorry, may I see your drawings? I
Yeah.
apologize.
It shows on the south.
Yes, so that is the south elevation.
So you're
and
gonna
you would have-
replace this with this one?
That is correct, yes.
So the intention is on the south elevation, putting this up here.
And is that compliant?
Well, they don't have a door or a window.
It's not a door or a window, so relief
But
would have to be
it's,
considered.
they've got one there
It's allowed.
now, and it's just a re-ident, okay.
But we have to see if you give a permit.
It wasn't a sign in this location or on this facade was not part of the original
Okay.
approval when they came through, so it's
non-compliant and
so it's not compliant.
sneaky, if you will.
Yeah, it was, we'd have to, there would be extra or additional approvals in order to get that sign on that elevation.
Okay. Well,
We're happy to do whatever it takes to
If
be
you-
compliant.
Well, the
Well,
easiest
that
thing,
would
the easiest
mean
thing
leave it
is,
off.
the easiest thing for you and everybody would be just, we'll strike that sign. Do you want to strike that sign?
Oh, you're asking me?
Otherwise you're gonna be coming back up here from Springfield for 2 more meetings and whatever, but,
There's currently, I believe, a special use permit, so I'd have to see what the official procedure would be for that. Because there's currently an
It's really
ordinance in
self.
place for the
Yeah.
self-storage.
I'm
So-
happy to do whatever it is to get through this process so we can get the majority of the signs.
Mhm.
I'll have to take back and speak with my manager about what they want to do with that south elevation.
all right, so take back to them that we're not allowing that sign. So let's move on. Sign 4,
But Mike, you're okay with the orange stripe, right?
well, the whole thing is being to me, that's part of the color scheme, so, conversation we're gonna have at the end.
Okay.
Sign 4, not an issue, right?
Well, so the way it works, there's some indoor parking that they need entrance and exit. And now they're calling it loading, but if I'm not mistaken, it's either the entrance or the exit over here.
That is the entrance to the indoor parking.
It's officially, there's indoor parking in that building.
And it's also our loading zone. We have
I
redone.
understand, but you're eliminating, the public has to be able to use this to enter indoor required parking spaces.
Correct.
So we don't wanna eliminate the word enter, that's I think up there.
Mhm.
If you wanna.
Can you have both
combination
enter
and
/ loading?
You said that's good, yeah?
Yes, do both, maybe enter and loading.
So enter/loading, right?
Not a problem.
Village agrees?
Mhm. Yeah, the,
Sign 5?
oh, sorry. This is on the east elevation, just north of like the customer entrance and
Sure.
storefront.
So there's the exit,
yeah.
it's still being labeled exit.
As I'm reading this, it would appear that you guys feel it is, the sign is proposed, is recommended?
Yeah, we feel it works with
Okay,
the
good.
overhead door. It doesn't comply specifically with the,
But,
you know, a
but you feel
directional
that
sign of 4
that's,
square feet.
in this use, it's fine, okay, got it.
Yeah, like getting relief
Sure.
for it seems reasonable.
Sign 6?
So signs 6 and 7, there's that kind of like that alcove just south of the customer storefront, where there's
Okay.
3 overhead doors that are kind of recessed into the facade. So they're proposing a sign on the north and south kind of interior, so to speak, walls of kind of like that alcove.
Why do you need these signs at all? Do you, I mean, what, do you think somebody from next door is gonna be parking there?
Well, there has been issues with people parking there, so,
Well, I mean, it's your
Just
space,
to
it's
help
your,
customers.
it's your building, I mean, so you're saying,
So currently there's a,
inside, you're saying inside this in here?
yes.
so currently there's customer parking signs
Uh-huh.
there, and so this is replacing those. It's
Those look
making it small.
awfully big.
Yeah.
It's actually smaller square footage, the entire site we're reducing by 50%.
Well, we don't, who knows if the other customer parking sign was compliant, so.
True enough.
Right, so,
Would it make more sense if they face it or the door's always up? So if I pull in, shouldn't the sign be maybe even on the door?
The doors are generally always closed, unless you have a specific need to go in with a truck or a car, then it's open, but it is generally closed.
So I was saying, wouldn't it be more practical to say parking only like when you face it, like you're pulling in and you're sitting in front of you?
At that point, it'd have to be painted on as opposed to a vinyl graphic.
how many square feet is it right now?
6.
All right, reduce it to 4. And 7, okay?
Oh, they don't, Mike, they don't.
How much
do all
is
that
from
stuff
6?
down here.
Yeah, I mean, I know, even if 6 square feet, you can't even read it, so,
I can't even.
I don't even know what it is. Probably unauthorized people will
Yeah,
be,
towed away.
right. So, you'll figure that out. 8. The podium,
Where's 8?
she's gonna
So
pull it
it's
up.
the window graphics on the entrance door to the customer
Okay.
office area.
The other item, the way the ordinance reads is 25% of each window pane, okay? So this is considered a window pane over here. So this is considered a window pane.
Yes.
So that is to not exceed 25%.
You do not bypass the mullion and consider the
No.
entire,
It's
so we could actually just bring it down
Yes.
Yes.
and it would be
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
But the other graphics that are like behind the window would have to be removed because there are, actually
Those
there,
are daily specials and the managers sometimes put those up and we can talk to them for sure.
because we count everything within 36 inches of the window surface on the inside as far as window coverage for
36
signage purposes. So right now, those signs are actually covering more than 50, probably around 40 or 50% of the window surface area without the proposed signage on there as well.
So you have to make sign 8 comply, and then we're also considering those other little orange and purple window signs as part of this thing, and that's sign 9, actually. That's sign 9, they have to go down, that's what you were saying, Nathan, right?
That's what he suggested,
Right.
to comply with.
Right, if that's what you're gonna do, are you gonna just
Yeah,
lower
oh
sign
yeah,
9?
for sure. We can do that with all those.
And then,
So, will we talk about it?
yeah, it's gotta comply, it's gotta
Has to
get,
comply,
it's gotta
so
get smalled
25%
up.
of
So,
the
cause
door.
it's the public storage, it's the office, it's all of that, so what do you got, 24 what? Whatever,
There should be a calculator, I'm sure.
you'll have to calculate it.
Yeah.
If I were you, I would put one on one door and one on the other door, to get your,
Which is the other one? Or was that
that's
in
just,
small letters? What do you see
That's
here?
just
Is
a
it
label
small
for-
letters here?
There's an optional mail
is
slot.
that on the sign, is that on the door?
Yes.
You gotta get it to 25%. You have to
I think
figure
this
out,
is
those
just
two
a
doors
label
have to
for
be
the slot.
25%.
Okay. Not a problem.
Color scheme. So, let me reread this. The corporate colors may be incorporated into the building design with appearance commission approval. It is recommended that the east-facing rectangle and the entire office facade remain a neutral color. An orange awning or canopy can be added above the customer entrance and storefront windows, well, we talked about that.
Right.
And the orange overhead exit door to be painted to match the exterior wall color, to draw attention away from it as it is not an entrance door.
So I guess staff has concerns with the orange
Yeah,
band, just because it really reads like this humongous sign that's not intended for
Right.
for mixed-use district.
correct.
And just also the paint on the building.
Yeah. Yeah, all the
Right,
orange paint.
Right. I mean, I'm okay, my personal opinion is I'm okay changing the top stripe to the solid orange all the way around. You're kinda getting, at least you're getting away from the Federal Express colors. Right, the two-tone going to a solid orange stripe, is that what you wanna do there? And then the building itself, I don't think should be orange. I'm mixed on the orange rectangle,
Yeah,
which is
I-
with the sign. I could see it either way.
Yeah,
Doesn't-
I don't like the orange of the building, I don't mind
No.
the orange of the signage.
I don't
The
like
bands,
the
either
orange.
bands are fine with me. The
Yeah.
rectangle and, the
Problem is-
rectangle and the coping.
We have white signage on a white background does not stand up. Can we put an orange panel, mount the sign to an orange panel?
No, which sign are you talking about, sir?
Right there, yes.
No, we're talking about maybe giving you that orange background.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Right,
But
right.
not this, you're saying yes.
But we're talking about this lower building, the
Yeah.
main building, we want to stay neutral.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha, sorry.
Make sense?
But, it's hard to tell, but then you'll continue that.
Yeah, so we're,
orange over
what?
up here, right? You see the.
is that your intention?
You see the stripes over here? You see the purple and.
That'll be orange there, yes.
So
Okay.
You'll continue that orange stripe up here to
Correct.
match this.
And basically all the way around the building, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then, okay. And then, which, all right, so now we can go back to talk about what you wanna do about rental office. That was sign 2. And the comment on sign 2 was, the rental office is the second wall sign on the east elevation. It is recommended, so, we're not gonna put an awning there, but, it's,
I mean, maybe one suggestion, since rental office is not illuminated, if you wanted to have it complement the entrance/loading and exit-only signs of,
to go with the orange and the white motif.
Yeah, so maybe this says
Rent, that orange.
rental office
an orange
and with the
background
same
to a-
background, so you have that contrast since the building won't be painted orange in that location.
Like,
Gotcha, okay.
It makes
So
sense.
there's the
Yeah,
contrast,
yeah.
so you can see
Okay.
it.
the other question is, do you really need the word rental? I'm just saying, say office.
Yeah, I don't know, what's your standard?
It's rental office,
Okay.
because you could confuse that with being part of a corporate office.
Okay.
We are renting space, so.
All right, and I think that's every issue, right, so far? So I'm gonna take a stab at the motion. I'm gonna take a stab at the motion,
Oh, go
but
ahead.
I'm gonna need you to, flip through the signs to jar my
Okay.
memory.
Okay.
So I make a motion that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2018-50A, public storage at 8220 Skokie Boulevard with the following provisions, Sign one, we are okay with sign one, and we're also okay with the orange background for sign one running across the whole face of the building. Sign two will be changed to look more like sign 4 with a orange background and white lettering, and it will be read rental office over the front entry. Sign 3 we're eliminating, and they will come back later if they really want it. Sign 4, we are changing the wording on that to enter/loading, and we're okay with the orange background. Sign 5 will be reduced, is fine as shown. Sign 6 and 7 will be reduced to no greater than 4 square feet. If they have to reconfigure all the text that they put into the big no parking sign, so be it, but it can't be bigger than 4 square feet. Sign 8 is the whole, all the lettering on both entry doors for sign 8, no matter what, has to comply to the 25% rule. They can reconfigure whatever, how the text, however they want to do it, but it can only be 25% on each door. Sign 9, they're going to lower those band signs, if you will, to below the mullion to comply with the 25% coverage window per pane. Sign, and that's it.
That was
And
it,
on
the
the
signage,
color
but the
scheme-
color scheme here.
Yeah, and the color scheme, the body of the building, of the lower building, will be a neutral color. The top orange stripe will run continuously around the whole building, and everything else, besides, the only thing that's be orange on this building will be the top stripe running all the way around it, and the orange rectangular where the public storage is shown. Other than that, everything will be painted a neutral color.
Perfect.
Anybody second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so passed.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. Any other issues? So are you here for, okay. Carrie, you had anything?
No, that would be
Okay,
it.
great. All right, meeting
All right.
adjourned.
Thank you.